Hello, wrestling fans. This is Alan Conn with another edition of the Final Verdict Wrestling Review for the June 23rd, 2011 edition of TNA Impact Wrestling. Not going to waste any time. We're just going to get right to it. The show opened up with a very unusual pro because before I was talking about how they always open with Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. Now they changed it up a little bit. They've been changing it up a little bit for the past couple weeks now. It seems like a very interesting coincidence that as soon as I say they open up the show the same time every week, they change it up a little. Last week it was Mr. Anderson and Gunner. This week is Eric Bischoff calling out Sting for his actions against Hulk Hogan last week. I call it a pro because Sting is now taking on a new, different character. It seemed like a much more sadistic, like he's slowly, ever since he lost the TNA title, he's slowly losing his mind, kind of. He's still a face, not a heel, not a tweener. He's clearly a face. Very, very anti-Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan, Mr. Anderson now. It's a very, very good segment where Sting, basically, he treats him the same way he did Hulk Hogan. You know, he takes out Bischoff, puts him in the Scorpion Deathlock, and, you know, it seems like he's having a little fun. He's making a lot of faces. He's got a lot goofier, but, you know, it's kind of like he's going off the deep end a little bit. The next pro we had right here is Bully Ray versus Scott Steiner. Not a bad match at all by any means. Very interesting matches. Both men are working heel now, and both men are just, you know, good for just talking absolute crap. So it was just a good back and forth segment they had last week to promote the match for this week. It was a very good power match. You wouldn't think Bully Ray can match power with Scott Steiner, but he actually held himself pretty well. I wasn't actually with the ending, but it really does fit in with, you know, both guys being heel. So, of course, both guys would cheat to try to win. But, of course, Bully Ray wins, and he gets the 7 points for the Bound for Glory series. Sorry about that. We also had another third straight pro in a row between the Knockouts tag match between ODB and Jacqueline. Both are returning. Both are original knockouts against Velvet Sky and Miss Tessmacher. Not a bad, you know, little knockout brawl as far as women's wrestling standards are concerned. Very nice brawl. Especially when you got two veterans like ODB and Jackie in there for Miss Tessmacher and Velvet Sky to work off of. Not a bad segment at all. The first con of the night was the Scott Steiner segment. After he loses, he goes looking for Bully Ray for cheating. He goes looking for Bully Ray. He finds Bully Ray, Abyss, and Gunner in the locker room. You know, first of all, you got 3 against 1, but the 3 guys are scared of Scott Steiner because he's swinging a chain around. The problem I had was the proposition laid by Abyss and Bully Ray was for Scott Steiner to join Immortal. The problem I have with that is the fact that when Scott Steiner made his re-debut earlier this year, it was to take out Immortal via Kurt Angle and Fortune. So now he's thinking about joining. You know, TNA for you. So, after that first con, we get to the next pro, which is Beer Money versus Crimson and Matt Morgan. Very interesting that Crimson and Matt Morgan look kind of alike. Just the only difference probably is tattoos and red hair. But they really do make a very impressive-looking tag team, so to speak. And this could be foreshadowing that, I don't know, maybe, you know, if they booked it correctly, it would probably work. But they did go over Beer Money tonight. Very good match. All 4 guys, you know, were on it, all cylinders. They all got in their big moves. They all had it in the big spots. I kind of figured Beer Money was not going to win this, especially if it was for the Bound for Glory series. And it would make more sense for the singles guys to win it since, you know, Crimson and Matt Morgan are singles guys, and you got the tag team champions competing in a singles-like tournament. It really wouldn't work for them. It shouldn't have ever been a tag match, but, you know, it's a pro because it was a good match. And it's not in, you know, it just shows that the tag team champions are beatable. Could this be leading to their title loss and eventual breakup? Because I personally feel that after they do lose the titles to a tag, I don't know what tag team they're losing them to, but this could be the final run for Beer Money that they're going to seek out on their own and do their own thing. We got the second con of the night between the talking segment between Daniels, AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe. Not that anybody messed up, not that anybody made a botch on their words or anything, just the fact that it was only used to set up Daniels versus AJ Styles. So why did you need Samoa Joe there in the first place? He didn't even schedule a match for himself at Destination X. So he didn't need to come out. So, waste of time. The next pro we got was the triple threat match. And what's funny is I can't remember all three guys' names. I just remember one of the guys is Barry Darso's son. So it was great to see that match by three guys who were not even signed to TNA. But it was a very nice throwback to the X Division days when the X Division actually mattered to TNA. Remember, wrestling matters to TNA. Another kind. It was the second Knockouts match, the street fight between Winter and Mickie James. Very lame to me. Didn't come off very good. It was okay. I didn't like the finish where Angelina Love had to come in and cheat for Winter because Winter practically dominated a majority of the match. So why would she need help? TNA for you. But the main event, I'll call the main event a pro and a con, a pro con, simply because the con was the match itself. It was decent, but it really wasn't going anywhere. But the pro would have been Sting's just flat out brutal beating and busting open Abyss at the end of the match, causing Mr. Anderson to come down. But even Mr. Anderson looked like he was so scared to even get in the ring because Sting he just busted open the biggest guy in Immortal, which is Abyss, with a barbed wire Coles Miner glove. It seems like very nice throwback too. The Coles Miner glove. Who hasn't seen that since about '93? I mean, who does the coal miner's glove anymore? But the final verdict for the June 23rd, 2011 TNA Impact Wrestling, I will have to give it a 9. It is an almost flawless show with 2 cons. Not bad at all. I have to give TNA the credit this week. They're doing very good. Hopefully they can keep it up next week. Hopefully they can keep it up going into Destination X. Also, we'll be on the lookout for my analysis of Destination X. But that's about it. I have to give the final verdict for TNA as a 9. Almost a perfect show, which is ironic for TNA. So hopefully they'll keep it up. Hopefully ever since they changed it to Impact Wrestling where wrestling matters, they haven't been a bad show. So maybe they should have stuck to that in the first place besides making it talking segments for almost an hour, 90 minutes. So, with that being said, this is the Final Verdict Wrestling review. I am Alan Cotton. Be sure to look out for me in the Friday Night SmackDown review. Until then, peace and love, y'all. God bless.